Hello, welcome to my first rapid game of the day. We have a normal d4, d5 position. I think we had this yesterday with the unfortunate reverse Grinfeld, though I did eventually win that. In this case, we have a London. I'll just quickly check my opponent's other ratings. Oh, they don't have any. Okay. I have played different things against the London. In this case, I'll just play a solid line with bishop d6 and queen c7, I think. Not the most fireworks trying to punish white, but this helps me to prepare an e5 break along with knight b to d7. Actually, I think e5 is quite good already, or at least not bad. Let's see, e5 takes, knight f3, queen drops back to e7. e5, d takes c5, knight takes c5 with tempo on the bishop, knight takes back, and defending, bishop takes, and the important part is d takes c, relinquishes control over e5. So I can just push for this. Of course, threatened to immediately push e4, forking. One knight f3 is a somewhat unusual way to enter the London, because some people might play c5 on move 1, and then well, let me think. Now that I'm taking on these hanging pawns, I think it makes sense to avoid the trade of like squared bishops. So I might just actually play King of Fate. Or even King e7. King e7 does get in the way of my queen dropping back though, which is the nice square for the queen. Bishop d7 should be okay, but well, bishop e7 captures allows me to take back this way, and bishop d7, knight takes e5, f bishop takes bishop, and I think that should favour me. So actually the more natural move probably is the one that makes the most sense. My opponent is being fancy here. c4 though, I think is good. c4, if you take, here I just take your queen. So c4 you drop the queen back, I played knight d3, and that has to be good. So critical would be bishop takes d7, and then I would take back with the other knight. And it's not easy to stop me from just jumping a knight into here. And this pawn I can defend. Wait, that's a terrible idea as this queen is being attacked. That's such a stupid pre-move. Gosh. Okay, so I do want this knight to jump in here. Hard to argue with such a powerful looking move. So let's suppose the king just comes up. I need to take care of this pawn. This knight is pinned, of course. I can't defend directly yet, as takes, and I drop the bishop. But if I give the check, the king's up, and I take the bishop, h takes, queen here should just... Queen here, I think, takes care of things. And the other knight can come to defend when it needs to. Withdrawing this knight to just block the queen's path is an interesting option. Could also propose a queen trade, dropping this pawn, so perhaps not proposing a queen trade. Exchanging and then queen c6 still looks like the best option to me. So presumably white will then want to bring their knight to d4, where it's the most annoying, but not too annoying. Well, they have to react to my queen first. They could play knight d4, but I'm fine with just exchanging. There's actually not really any squares white can go to avoid the exchange. Laptop lagged for a moment there as I was making the move. That was rather scary. After knight d4, I think I just trade and play king to e7, and white's forward squares are, well, but c7 isn't covered, but actually no, c7 is forking, so king e7 isn't good. It's surprisingly tricky, but I don't think worth fussing too much over. These don't make too much sense in light of my whole queen c6 in the first place. So I think let's just exchange. That was definitely a safe pre-move on my opponent's part. Okay, rook c8 drops the rook to this check. This check is the more annoying check. King e7, dropping this pawn, not good. Long castling is incredibly funny, but also dropping a rook. Or an exchange. I guess it's more accurate to say. So I think just king d8 is the only move. And then we have this forking the two pawns, but this pawn is more important. Then king e7. If you take this, then I just go this ways, and I think that can't be good for you. Maybe giving up this pawn is simpler. If I just castle, and bring the rook here. Takes... I do get this pawn, of course. The thing is that white doesn't really have many options, I think. So I can just play king d8 and then one on knight here, king here. Like, this is a pawn holding this pawn that anchors. So of course this works here. Trying to hold with knight to here. There is f4 and taking back defense knight. No tricky in between. An interesting question is, where does this rook go after... Sorry, where does this knight go after I play rook b8? To here, and then to here. b4 does defend. But what if I take with the... Oh, knight c6, I think is an important resource for white. This one surprised me. Very much expected, well, not this. As I am just going to take this pawn if I'm given that opportunity. My king isn't getting attacked here. I suppose maybe my opponent was afraid of the complications after knight b7. In fact, they might have favoured me. This knight would be nice here, but I don't think that's possible. g6 isn't effective. Knight here, white does the same trick back to me. Let's just be careful I'm not accidentally getting myself into trouble with my king. In g5 check, I take the knight. I think just moving this knight out to control e4 and defend b7. So now I prepare to take on b2. I think b4 is possible, but my knight here is, I don't think, at all pleasant. This is a similar option, but probably better. Yeah, not so easy to deal with for me. But let's just support with b5, I think. And then taking this way, I can take this way. So this knight still has options here and here. When the knight has so few options, I should be able to calculate them. Well, I guess this is an interesting option. I can just play a6. My rooks are connected. The h6 pawn is not so important. I can also take on a4 directly. I would assume white's idea is to take here. Let's briefly consider taking this way. I don't like it because it really is bad for the pawns. So in this case, flicking g6 doesn't help me at all. So let's let white be greedy. Let's let white be greedy and aim for an attack against the king. Well, this is a better pawn to have if I don't lose it. I don't think I'm losing it. Although, if I manage to win this pawn, which isn't too unlikely, two connected pass pawns. I didn't think I can pass on that opportunity. So I'll take this way. I should have given more thought to whether I'm not losing this pawn, actually, but the time is dripping down a little bit. So what I want next is just bringing this rook to here. I suppose knight jumping into here is a possibility, though this knight is given this. Okay. Well, this is funny, but I can start with this using the threat of this knight, I think. I very much didn't think this queen can be gotten away with. Unfortunately, relying on some instincts rather than pure calculation. One possible thing is knight takes, king takes, rook takes. Although in this instance, Like F1 is possible, but then I can include the other knight jumping in. Although, actually, I thought about knight here, where this knight can defend, but more powerful is probably knight here, where I'm attacking a lot of white's points. I think white probably has to force the action in some way, otherwise I just play rook b2, and I maintain all the threats while... Okay, I didn't consider this one. I think that knight takes f2 is working here. Knight takes f2, rook f1. Other knight jumps in. Perhaps. This knight is on the verge of getting trapped, though, and there's nothing white is immediately threatening to do. So in fact, just a simple rook b7 is quite appealing now. This square is possible. These are also possible, but I think a bit dangerous. Yes, this is a possible thing for white to do. I like just giving this check. Let's just repeat quickly. Actually, that might not be a repetition. Oops. It's okay. Let's chase this knight. Or just go after this. No, I want to move the king first. Time. Okay, let's attack the pawn. I should try to make some progress. A knight can jump in. Although that does open up my own threats. This knight jumping is probably more likely. These knights are definitely an annoyance. Okay, I didn't quite have the time to figure out what the idea of this is, so I will just try to attack the pawn. Why am I pre-moving this? Not a good pre-move. No, I can do this in between. Actually, it drops this pawn if just it's trading, but a passed pawn is a passed pawn. Okay. I'm not sure if the knight endgame is good for me. I don't think it's bad for me. So I'll offer this trade. And then this will be another knight in game. Hopefully I don't go into a losing pawn in game this time. It seems a lot less likely. Just trying to push through. Look, here's possible. Probably I do just have to trade. They don't go for it, which is slightly surprising. I think jumping knight back to here is a good option. They can attack. But the pawn isn't being pressured at the moment, so I'm okay. This one I didn't expect for some reason. Ah. Okay, that's me losing the pawn. Time. Okay, well, I've unfortunately lost my one asset. And so I have to defend this in-game, I suppose. I suppose I'm hinting at going at pawn f5. This is into the fork, but currently... Oh, this is annoying. I should go for this. The knight has a check from any square I go to. I think this one, so that this check is blocking white's own. Annoyingly clean. Let's just chuck the pawn. This is probably the most irritating for a move. Just f3. Here you have to figure out if maybe I find defending this. The two split pawns, probably defendable, but rook check in between, probably not defendable. Probably already lost, of course. Okay, I will go here to attack this pawn. What? Okay. This might be defendable then. Okay, actually no, two plus pawns, but they're not connected. My king is well placed though. So, first call, just don't hang the rook, bring the king up. I unfortunately don't know the theoretical state of this one. Okay, I'll propose a rook trade because okay. Of course this can't be pushed, I think. This is with jack, so it does manage to push. Okay, let's drop the king back. King here, the rook swap is a draw. The other way hangs the rook. This is a repetition. I feel like maybe... No, there's no chance of them hanging a rook. I think probably I'll just play this next. Actually, that goes into a losing rook pawn in game, so let's not go into that next. Let's pin the pawn. Let's... Takes. King... I think this is a draw. Opposition. I'll off the draw, but of course we can play this out. Drop back. slightly annoying to have to go to a draw, but what can you do when you're 2 pawns down? Attack the pawn, go back, drop back. Okay, that was slightly annoying to draw, but knights and rooks are so tricky. I think I had a pretty good position, but the things were tricky with this knight. Yeah, I didn't take full advantage of just like my clearly better knights, I think. Should have just attacked this knight, yeah. I am a bit tired after that quite long game, so I will be relying more on the computer than I usually do. Okay, so this is normal. Let's have a look at King of 8. King of 8 is, of course, going to be quite reasonable. Nice to be somewhat validated, but also not, because I never actually played this. Okay, so this was good for me. Oh, this small bump was just some computer funniness. So this queen c6, not at all. Oh, trading first and then... no? Okay, so suppose I just defend it. The doubled pawns. Losing a pawn because of this. Okay, that's fine, I think. Could just castle queenside. Probably should have given more thought to this. The idea is a decent amount of activity just for a single pawn. And a pawn that was mostly in the way. That doesn't seem so clear to me though. I don't like dropping back the knight, which it looks like it's quite well placed, but yeah, this queen is surprisingly short on squares. Supposing white was a bit casual and played like rook here, trying to double. A6, queen back. Now this is starting to be somewhat scary for white, I think. The queen trade, I think, yeah, probably could have been avoided. And this was okay. This whole sequence was a bit surprising. I guess this did favour me. I had like some expectation of e4 at some point. That was the other helpful part of knight to c5. That's fair. I wasn't sure on the point of g6, but actually no, g6 here makes sense. And as opposed to taking immediately, suppose takes. Yes, indeed, that is 2 pawns in a row. Yeah, not... I just ended the line after the rook taking here, which is kind of appalling because 2 pawns is 2 pawns. And then, yeah, white manages to be okay immediately. H5, yeah. With the idea of undermining this knight. I didn't give this too much thought in the game, and I can't really give any reason why I didn't. I guess just some assumption that this knight would ultimately be okay somehow. Which, there's no particular reason it would be obvious it'd be okay. So this was scary because, okay, this is a good pass pawn. Fine. That's hard to argue with. And I guess, and again, still a good pass pawn, I think. Not as good, but still good. Okay. Honestly, not sure which pawn better to take back with. The computer gives the evaluations a bit similar, but I'm sure the lines themselves are different. So I played d takes e4 in the game. This was some pointless checks. I considered this for a moment and kick the knight first. And this is 2 knights. Oh, this is somewhat embarrassing. I thought in this tactic this was an equal trade, but I forgot that my knight on d7 just survives by itself. Sorry, d2 survives by itself. So that's a tactic which I really should have tried to set up. Still given an edge by the computer, but I'm so low on time, it's not pleasant. This is a hard endgame to play. I might analyze this with some friends later. I think not so appropriate to analyze now, where from a game I had 8 seconds to play out the endgame. Or not very long, let's just say. Yeah, so this doesn't address anything. Stopping white's threats, yeah, it's very uncomfortable. Eesh. Good thing about losing all my pawns is that I don't have to think about them. This is indeed a 3 pawns up endgame. That is 3 pawns. And then... Okay, so this is winning. But I think trickier than the table base would ever let you know. And instant draw. Yeah, okay. which of course you just need to know the technique of. Okay. Okay. I think I will finish the video there. Please do comment if you've watched all the way through, and I hope to see you all in the next video.